Ah, the Panama Canal, a true testament to human ingenuity, determination, and a whole lot of bug spray. This modern engineering marvel saves ships from the absolute nightmare of rounding Cape Horn, a journey so treacherous it could make even the bravest sailor cry for their mama. Weeks of perilous storms and waves that could swallow a ship whole? No thank you. But what if I told you that this brilliant shortcut was built on a foundation of innovation, sweat, and an absolutely horrifying number of mosquito bites? Yes, those tiny, relentless mosquitoes were the real MVPs of the construction site, spreading diseases like malaria and yellow fever faster than gossip at a high school reunion. Thousands of workers toiled day and night, facing not only grueling physical labor but also the deadly threat of these winged menaces. Welcome to the shocking, tragic, and slightly absurd story of how an engineering marvel became one of history's deadliest projects. From the initial French attempt that ended in disaster to the eventual success by the Americans, the tale of the Panama Canal is filled with unexpected twists and turns, triumphs and tragedies. So, grab your popcorn and bug spray and join us as we delve into the fascinating history behind this iconic waterway. Welcome back to the Cruise Ship Safety and Security Channel. Before we dive into this wild tale of ambition, disease, and some very unfortunate engineering decisions, let me set the stage for you. Picture this: the early 1900s, a time when the world was rapidly changing, and the dream of connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans was more than just a fantasy. It was a monumental challenge that would test the limits of human ingenuity and perseverance. And, spoiler alert, a lot of mosquito repellent. But before we get into the nitty-gritty details, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. Your support helps us bring more incredible stories to life. Plus, it keeps the mosquitoes away. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss more jaw-dropping stories from maritime history. We've got a treasure trove of fascinating tales lined up, from epic sea battles to groundbreaking engineering feats. And maybe a few more mosquito jokes. Trust me, this one's going to be a ride. We're about to embark on a journey through time, exploring the highs and lows of one of the most ambitious projects ever undertaken. And yes, there will be mosquitoes. Now, let's get started. Our story kicks off with the French, led by Ferdinand de Lesseps, the same guy who pulled off the Suez Canal miracle. They confidently waltzed into the Panamanian jungle, ready to slice through the land like a hot knife through butter. Just one tiny hiccup. They had absolutely no idea they were walking into a mosquito nightmare. You see, the Suez Canal was built through a nice, dry desert. No mosquitoes there, just a lot of sand. Panama? It was a mosquito-infested, disease-ridden jungle swamp. Think of it as a mosquito's all-you-can-bite buffet. Malaria and yellow fever weren't just present, they were the landlords. And boy were they strict. And they collected rent in human lives. 20,000 of them, to be exact. Talk about a deadly lease agreement. To make matters worse, the French decided to go with a sea-level canal design, just like the Suez. This meant excavating massive amounts of soil and rock in brutal conditions. Talk about a bad idea. Imagine trying to dig a giant ditch while being eaten alive by mosquitoes. It's like a bad camping trip on steroids. And if that wasn't enough, they were constantly battling deadly landslides. Mother Nature really had it in for them. Spoiler alert. It didn't go well. Who could have seen that coming? By 1889, after years of failed attempts, empty pockets, and far too many funerals, the French packed up and left. They probably said, "Au revoir, Panama." Their dream of a canal was over, but the story was just beginning. Stay tuned for the American sequel. Enter the Americans. Armed with ambition and pith helmets. By now, people had figured out that mosquitoes weren't just annoying, they were tiny flying syringes of doom. And they had a vendetta. The first order of business? Wage war on these buzzing executioners. Mosquitoes, meet your match. And they did. With oil, drainage, and a ridiculous amount of bug spray. Seriously, it was like a bug spray bonanza. Once the swarms were somewhat under control, the Americans could finally focus on actually building the canal. This time, they went with a lock-based system instead of a sea-level canal, which meant less digging and more engineering brilliance. But even with smarter planning, the work was still incredibly dangerous. And no, they didn't have hard hats with mosquito nets. With landslides, accidents, and tropical diseases still playing their greatest hits, the canal project continued to rack up casualties like a bad video game. The American effort may have been more successful than the French, but it certainly wasn't a walk in the park, or should we say, a swim in the canal. The Culebra cut was the real beast of the operation. Imagine trying to give a mountain a haircut with a spoon. Think of it like trying to dig a trench through a mountain, only to have the mountain repeatedly collapse on you. It's like the mountain had a personal vendetta. Landslides were a daily occurrence. Like the mountain's way of saying, "Not today, buddy," making every shovel of dirt a potentially life-threatening decision. Talk about job hazards. The amount of excavation required for this part alone was staggering, like trying to dig your way to China with a spoon. Over 100 million cubic yards of earth had to be removed. That's enough dirt to fill the Grand Canyon. Twice. And even after the canal opened, landslides continued to be a problem, like Mother Nature's way of saying, "Nice try, humans." Picture this, you've just wrapped up the toughest project ever, and then Mother Nature waltzes in like, "Hold my beer, watch this chaos." To avoid digging a sea-level canal through literal mountains, engineers came up with a genius idea, Gatun Lake. By damming the Chagres River, they created a man-made lake, turning a chunk of the jungle into a watery highway. Suddenly, instead of digging more, they just floated ships across. Talk about taking the lazy river to a whole new level. Genius. Finally, in 1914, after decades of struggle, sickness, and more trial and error than a toddler learning to walk, the Panama Canal officially opened. Cue the confetti and the world's tiniest marching band. The result? A shortcut that changed global trade forever. But at what cost? Spoiler alert, it wasn't cheap. Between the French and American efforts, estimates of the total death toll range from 25,000 to 30,000 lives. Talk about a killer project. Today, the Panama Canal stands as a testament to human ingenuity and a lot of sweat. But behind every smooth-sailing cargo ship is the untold story of those who worked their tails off to build it. So, next time you hear about an engineering marvel, just remember, it probably came with a hefty price tag, and I don't mean in dollars. Think more along the lines of mosquito bites and backaches. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating history of the Panama Canal. It's incredible to think about the sheer determination and ingenuity that went into creating such a monumental engineering feat. And let's not forget the mosquitoes. They were the real MVPs, making sure everyone stayed on their toes. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us bring more amazing stories to light. Plus, it keeps the mosquitoes at bay. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss more insane stories from history. We have a lot more intriguing content lined up, and you won't want to miss any of it. Seriously, you don't want to miss it. Those mosquitoes might come looking for you. And hey, drop a comment below. What's another engineering project with a dark backstory that we should cover next? We love hearing your suggestions and might feature your idea in an upcoming video. Who knows? Maybe we'll find another story with even more mosquitoes. See you next time.